What's good, everybody? A1 Forever Sports, Chris Tip Moore here, man. Got an Atlanta Braves update, man. This right here, it's not surprising news. It's just shocking, just the deal. But what's the deal? Talking about Max Fried. And according to reports from Jeff Passel, Max Fried has now agreed to an 8-year, $218 million deal with the New York Yankees. Man, I like over the last 5 seasons, the Max Fried has definitely been an all-star for the Atlanta Braves with a 2.81 ERA, and that is also right up there with also pitcher Corbin Burns over that span. Also, so Max Fried, of course, being the 30-year-old ace that he was for the Atlanta Braves. In 2024, he was one of the pitchers that really helped held it down for the Atlanta Braves. One of the reasons why the pitching staff was as good as it was in 2024. But now Max Fried is getting out of Atlanta. It also it was you can definitely say that people were expecting it. I was expecting it as well. I wanted to keep Max Fried on the Braves pitching staff, on the Braves team, but I know how this thing works, and it is about the almighty dollar. And Max Fried is now the third left-handed pitcher now with over a $200+ million contract, joining the likes of David Price and Clayton Kershaw, 217 and 215 respectively. So I'm saying, like, this is a big deal for Max Fried. At the end of the day, I can't be mad about it. Max Fried did his job here in Atlanta. You can question his postseason success, but ultimately, just for the Atlanta Braves, definitely a durable guy. Definitely, a guy just like over the span of his career, just been mostly durable. I know he's had a couple of hiccups with injuries over the last couple of seasons, which may have played a part in why the Braves didn't offer him a massive contract such as like this. But also, we already know how Alex Anthopoulos works as well. He's not just going to give like these big contracts to these 30+ year old pitchers, despite the fact. So, of course, we already knew that he declined the qualifying offer. That was expected. And now Max Fried has signed that is pending physical, is going to sign an 8-year, $218 million contract with a team that has never been able to beat him. Max Fried is pretty much perfect against the New York Yankees, and the Yankees went out and got a guy that, hey, if you can't beat him, go grab him, especially considering the fact that they missed out on Juan Soto, who is going to the New York Mets. And I know a buddy of mine, RJ, he thought that Fried would end up with the Mets. Glad Fried is not ended up with the Mets, but hey, he's still going to New York nevertheless. Congratulations to Max Fried. Thank you for everything that you've done for the Atlanta Braves. Thank you for being an opening day type starter for us. Thank you for being the ace, what I'm saying, and helping us get to the World Series and, overtake those Dodgers and overtake those Astros and win that World Series in 2021. So at the end of the day, like, hey, we've seen what Dansby leave. We've seen Freddie Freeman leave and go win another World Series. Freddie just won another World Series with the Dodgers and was a big piece to the Dodgers. So winning this year, especially in the postseason, and it just seemed like Freddie just couldn't miss. He's hitting home runs game after game. So congratulations to him for that. But Max Fried no longer an Atlanta Brave. Again, it was kind of expected. It really was expected. I wanted to keep him, but at the end of the day, it is a business. Max Fried, again, congratulations to your new contract, pending physical. And we're going to move forward with the Atlanta Braves pitching staff and what they can possibly do. All right. So, next, real quick, before we get ready to get up out of here, want to talk about winter meetings, and something that Alex Anthopoulos said that was pretty interesting to me. Shout out to Mr. Mark Bowman, who has been covering Atlanta Braves when I was still shoot back in school, man, still growing up, trying to find my way through the world. And Mark was already doing this thing. So shout out to him for covering the Atlanta Braves. But it was something in an article that he wrote about Alex Anthopoulos and the winter meetings. Something that Alex said, and Alex the Anthopoulos Braves GM said, "I think the big thing for that is if you're losing draft picks." Anthopoulos said, "Dollars still matter, of course, but it's still just a tax. It's just a percentage you're going up. It's for every dollar over. You're aware of it, but it doesn't stop you from doing anything. If the right opportunity presents itself, we'll do it." And basically, he's talking about, basically spending money and going over that luxury tax, something that the Braves have done for 3 consecutive seasons. And, this right season right here probably is going to be just like it. At the end of the day, the Braves have Ronald Acuna, who is not going to be back at the start of the season. It possibly may be about June. I'm thinking it's going to be about June, close to maybe all-star breakish. I said maybe all-star break before we get not only get Ronald Acuna back, but also see that what kind of player that he's going to be. He's not going to be a Ronald Acuna right out the gate when he comes back. Let's say he comes back June. I don't think Ronald Acuna is going to be back into the swing of things until All-Star break, or possibly after the All-Star break, to where you really start seeing like the juices flowing, possibly him looking like a image of what Ronald Acuna used to look like for the Atlanta Braves before the injury. And at the end of the day, it's still another injury. You got to see how he's going to be able to come back and be able to maneuver. Now, with it wasn't in the same knee, but it still is another ACL injury. Same thing for Spencer Strider, who had Tommy John surgery, his second Tommy John surgery. Like, you're not going to have these guys on opening day. So I believe that the Braves need to make some moves. We know they need a left-handed hitter and also a left fielder, because they let Ramon Laureano go. And it's a possibility you may have to bring him back. We'll see. I mean, when you look out there in the landscape as far as like outfielders, there's a lot of cheaper options. It's a lot of guys out there who used to be Atlanta Braves, like Kevin Pillar. What Jason Hayward is out there as far as like names go. Of course, you got Laureano still out there too now, but it's not a lot of huge pickings. But at the end of the day, Alex Anthopoulos said, if it's a deal out there to be made for one of these guys, they're going to go make it. I think you need to address, starting pitching and, strength. Keep that a strength, because that was one of the Brave strengths last year. So I think you need to go ahead and address the pitching always, and starting and relief if you can. And then possibly if you can patch together like a little something for that outfield, and to get another bat. I believe, Alex Anthopoulos would do that. Definitely think you need to keep the pitching strong, especially now that you've officially lost Max Fried to the New York Yankees. I think pitching should be the priority, so you can at least have something to counter other teams' bats. So you got to be able to do that. So another thing too is Joe Jimenez. He's probably going to miss most of the season as well. So you got to think about that. The Braves, as far as like this estimate, luxury tax payroll stands at 217, which is approximately 24 mil shy of the MLB's first luxury tax threshold for 225, which is at 241. 241 million is that threshold. And the Braves, what I'm saying, they could possibly be over that once again. They should be, especially if they're going to be serious about trying to compete against teams like the Dodgers, who just went and got, I believe, was it Dylan Cease? I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Once you guys see this, if I'm wrong, but yeah, but either way go, they just went and made a move to help, bolster their team for the next run to try to go after this World Series. And the Braves have to do the same. The Braves have to do the same. They got to get back into the mix, and by any means necessary. And Alex Anthopoulos is saying, hey, if there's a right deal to be made, we're going to go in and do it. Will that deal come about, though? It takes two to tango, and that's either his player or, team to try to trade something. So we will see about that for the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be interesting to see how this all comes about. But regardless, Anthopoulos has made it clear that the priority is to do whatever benefits the team, the present roster. So let's just hold out and just see what happens with that. Moving forward into winter meetings, this is just like a quick little update about Max Fried signing his massive New York Yankee deal, and also winter meeting talks again. So thank you guys. Shout out to every that last one of you. Like, comment, and subscribe to help get me out there into the YouTube universe as I'm out here pushing out this Braves content, Hawks content, and of course, to the Atlanta Falcons as well. I'm saying, peace and blessings to you all, and to you all, I will holler.
A1, yeah, truly, cooler and I'm flyer too. Damn, cooler and I'm flyer too.